Hi guys, this is Sourdough Kathy here, and this is going to be a compilation of my last ENC filming that I took, which got messed up, and it will be in order to show you what went on, what my theory was, and where I'm at right now. So this is my bin, and this has been going for 2 months now. As you can see, I use leaves and a whole mixture if you've watched my ANC video. And right here I have some dry food that I gave to them yesterday. Now what I'm going to do today, I also have here, this was the baby bin, the one that had all the worms that weren't all the cocoons rather that were not born yet. So this was their little bin with all the chaff and whatnot that was in here, and I'm hoping that nobody's put any more babies in here because there are a few big ones in there since last month. Now what I plan on doing today, because I want my theory to prove out in 2 different ways. I have this bin here that I'm taking from. Then I have this bin, which is about the same height as the other one. And then over at the end there, I have a long bin, which is shallower. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these worms because there are a lot of them in here. I'm sorry about the lighting. But I'm going to split them up into those 2 bins and hope that I don't make a mess of this filming either. Looks like you're going to go kaplunk. All right, hopefully you can see that okay. I want you to be able to see a bit of what I'm doing, so I'm having to set this up just right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my baby bin and I'm going to attempt to get my worms out and put them into one of these 2 bins. And I will start with this pan here, which I hope you can see. You should be able to see that. It's really hard when you're trying to film by yourself and do anything of any worth. I'm going to try and get them in this 1/8 inch bin first. I can see an awful lot of springtails in here. This may have been a little bit too small because it's damp. So what I will do is I will transfer to my handy dandy 1/4 incher. Forgive the noise. Here you can see a bunch of the small ones that hatched and any kind of stuff that hasn't broken down yet because I put leaves in them. I'm going to take this and put this over to the furthest bin and drop it in there. There are still a lot of little tiny worms in here, which I will get out later on when I go to empty or do my actual sifting, because this for me is not my sifting. This is just my way of getting the worms out of here really fast. And there are still some worms, there's still some stuff that didn't break down. I'm going to put them in the one beside me. And I'm almost done with this gallon bucket. And here's where some of the bigger ones are, down at the bottom. And I find this to be true with my ENCs. My larger ones seem to go to the bottom, and my smaller ones stay at the top. But I'll tell you what, this stuff down here, even though it's very moist right now, it needs to dry just a little bit, it is very, very broken down. Now, this was what was not hatched when I put them in here 2 months ago. And now they are all hatched. I'm going to dump them in this bin right beside me, half and half into the other one. Okay, now so far for that. We're just going to let that go now. I see a lot of springtails in there, and I find that to be true with when you use leaves. There are, because it's more acidic, even though you put buffer in it or whatever you want to call it, eggshells, there's always going to be springtails in there, and I don't care. I'm going to take this food off the top, put it in here, and maybe I can even get you a worm ball. I want you to know that when I put these worms in here, I did it for a purpose. This was a test, and I wanted to see if my test would work out, and to me it has. Now, what I did was, let's see if we can get a worm ball here. Here we go. Since everyone loves a good worm ball, these are my ENCs. Most of these, or lots of them, are very young, but there's a whole bunch of wormies in there. So I'm going to split this between the two bins, one in the shallow bin and one in the deep bin. Let's see if I can find any more balls. Here's another worm, smaller ball where there was some food, a lot of food, lots of small ones. This bin is just jam-packed with worms, especially if you put food in here. I mean, they'll just gnaw onto that. Here it goes. Here's another one. I put food in specially. Look at that nice big one. That is one pretty ENC. He almost looks like a African night crawler. And that may be the one that I found in my bin that full of leaves some time ago. As I get down in the bottom here, I'm going to find more and more big ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just shake these out of here. This is what I do. It doesn't take long for me, because this takes off all of the main stuff that it's not going to be any good. It has to be broken down more. But here are some more big ones. See, all the big ones like to go into the bottom. The smaller ones will go where the food is. So I'm going to put some big ones in there. I'm going to break this down half and half. And then when I get done, when I'm finished, and I'll tell you what I did, okay? I went through this bin every single day. I turned it over every single day because I wanted to see if I could annoy them to cause them to walk. Because many people complain that they have trouble with their ENCs just walking. This is why I don't use paper in my ENC bins, because it never breaks down. For whatever reason, they do not eat it in my bins. Now, if you're lucky enough to have them and they work, I'm finding rocks. More power to you, but mine don't want to eat it. So anyway, I'll get back to the story here. I have turned it every single day. I have fed them regularly, like every 2 or 3 days, with ground up food. I don't put any whole food in. I just ground it up and make a hole and then put some into the bottom of the bin somewhere. maybe on two sides, sometimes on one side, sometimes right in the middle. And the last time I did this, I was able to get 5 gallons out of the same bin that I'm using right now. And you can see it's not taking me very long to do this. I mean, see, more cardboard. This is the 3rd time this cardboard has gone through this bin. 3rd time. Just absolutely incredible. You see all those worms in there? Awesome. All right, I'm going to finish this up. I think it's only going to take me a couple minutes, and then I will come back. Okay guys, that took me all of about 15 minutes to do. Maybe not even that long. There's still a few worms left in here, but for the most part, they're out. And all the large pieces of leaves and whatnot are out. So what I'm going to do, I will try to give you a show of what I've gotten here. So this is the pile of this bunch right here. There's just a ton of worms in here, and there are also a ton of worms over there, and I can't reach. So here's my first theory has proved out to be true as far as I'm concerned. When I use leaves and a mix, it's not just leaves, I use a mixture of leaves and coffee chaff and coffee grounds, food juices, eggshell, some sand, and that's about it, really. I mean, mostly the leaves themselves are what I use, along with the coffee chaff, which is, let me show you what that is, which is this right here. I hope you can see that. That's coffee chaff. Didn't really want that to go in my bin, but oh well. Anyway, what I'm doing now as a second part of this is I want to see if it's going to cause them to crawl, because these were used to being in a deeper bin, which this one right beside me is. It's a deeper bin. The one the far away from me, the blue one that you saw, that is a more shallow bin, but it is also made up of leaves. And I'm looking to see if they will stay in the bin so long as they are provided with what they like. And for me, that happens to be leaves. And so I'll let you know how I do as far as my how much castings I get out of this, and I'll tell you they're going to be beautiful castings. And then I will next time take another video and let you know how my experiment has gone. Thus far, deeper bin filled with leaves and whatnot, feeding them regular foods, although mine are mashed up, has worked. Not one time did I have one crawler crawl out of this bin or even attempt to. Not one. So we will see, folks. And that's it for now. If you want to hit like or subscribe, I would appreciate it. And if not, that's okay too. Love you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Hi guys, here's the end of the story. Out of the ENC bin, I got approximately 6 gallons of very, very luscious, beautiful, beautiful castings. The only thing in there that you can really see are springtails and a little bit of eggshells. So that's it. Thanks again. Bye-bye.